Have you ever heard of someone creating a game with something meant for your shower? Want to find out how people are possibly saving police departments all over the country paper? Well, then you'll definitely want to stay tuned until after Kickstarter Corner, in which we'll go ahead and get into the nitty-gritty of all of this that was mentioned as we sit down with Jeff to talk all about his new game that's currently on Kickstarter, Magnets the Game. This episode of Getting Geeky with Game Relief is proudly being powered by TradeWarz, a game of kings. The Game of Kings is a 5X empire building game in resource management strategy and military might, where you zealously need to rule. This was created by some great people out of South Africa. I recently had the opportunity to sit down and talk to them about it. You can go back and look in the recent episodes and you'll be able to find that as well. Or just check out the Kickstarter page. I hope they make it. If they don't, I hope they revamp and relaunch, as it looks like an awesome game. TradeWarz, a game of kings. You have 7 days to go, as this project ends on Friday the 28th of September. So make sure you check out TradeWarz, a game of kings, as well as this episode of Getting Geeky with Game Relief is also proudly being powered by Stupid Users Beta. Beta is a unique, fast-paced, ever-changing item-looting, army-building card game. They have 16 days to go, going through Saturday the 6th of October. We'll be bringing this to you on our Family Fun Day Friday tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. This episode of Getting Geeky with Game Relief is also proudly being powered by Kill Merlin, a new board game for 2 to 4 awful wizards. You heard me right, 2 to 4 awful wizards. Unique mechanics and crazy cutthroat gameplay. Defeat Merlin so all may revere your glory. This game funded in 11 hours and is still going strong for another 27 days as it ends on Thursday the 16th of October. So make sure you look for Kill Merlin, a new board game for 2 to 4 awful wizards, coming to you from Schumann Family Games. Now let's get on with it, shall we?
Getting Geeky with Gamer Leaf, the podcast in which one man strives to level up his geekhood and helping you do the same, one battle at a time. Now, let's get geeky with Gamer Leaf.
Reminder to hang on until after Kickstarter Corner when we sit down with Jeff to talk all about Magnets the Game that's currently on Kickstarter. We have 5 games on the Kickstarter Corner we'll be bringing to you today.
What is this place? What is it doing here in the Leaf's computer? Oh, it's Kickstarter Corner with the Leafs.
You'll want to jump on the Kickstarters as soon as you can if you like this one. Rap Godz, the hip-hop strategy and storytelling board game. Be the next rap god. Build your rap skills, money, street cred, and start beef with other rappers to get the most record sales plaque. I saw the game board and whatnot on Michael Wright, the Unfiltered Gamers live stream the other day, and it looks awesome. It's an awesome, I think it looks like a record board or a record player or something, so that was pretty cool. They're not quite to their goal. They got $2,000 more to go, but at the time of this hearing this, depending on when you're listening, you'll have a little bit over 30 hours to jump on and help it become a goal, as there's less than 35 hours to go at the time of this recording. What we like to call it is hip-hop for your tabletop. So go ahead and check out Rap Godz, the hip-hop strategy and storytelling game currently on the Kickstarters through Friday, tomorrow, the 21st of September at 8:59 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. On a completely different realm are dragons, as well as Meeples. Have you ever heard of the two joining forces to create Dreeples? Well, now you have Dreeples, Dragon Meeples, and Dreeple Wars Relaunch coming to you from Tyrell Wood. It's got an awesome game with upgrades with an explosive board game option. You can use these Dreeples on games from Monopoly to Ticket to Ride to anything that needs a Meeple. Why not improve and enhance it with a Dreeple instead? Plus, there's a game to go along with it. Dreeple Wars. The war before the Meeple Wars. The game. Go ahead and check out the Kickstarter page. You have through Tuesday, the 25th of September, to get in on this one. They're over halfway to their goal. Let's make it a reality. Dreeples, Dragon Meeples, and Dreeple Wars Relaunch currently on the Kickstarters. Project Management, a soul-crushing card game, is next. It's a cynically satirical card game of office politics, set in the worst environment of all time, a government department. They're quite a ways away from their goal. If you want to help it become a reality, you've got 4 days to go as it ends on Tuesday, the 25th of September. If they don't make it, I hope they relaunch, but definitely check out Project Management, a soul-crushing card game on the Kickstarter for a couple more days. Now on a completely different realm than all the other great games we brought to you on the Kickstarter Corner is one based in space. That's right, No Escape. No Escape is a competitive maze-building take-that game for 2 to 8 players, trying to find your way to the only escape pod available. To all else, there is no escape, so get there first. This game was funded, and you still have 7 days to go to get on the fun action as it ends on Thursday, the 27th of September, so definitely check out No Escape from Games. Last but not least is Cabooses in the Corner. All aboard, get train cars on track for departure by building trains from caboose to engine. The first to play all of their cards wins. We recently sat down with Christy, one of the creators of this great game, to talk all about it on our Monday episode. So jump back 2 episodes and you'll be able to find out where we talked with the creator all about Cabooses in the Corner. Though they are a little bit over halfway to their goal, and you still have 10 days to get in on the fun action of this, as this project goes through Monday, the 1st of October. So definitely check out this game. And we'll be telling you about this again at the end, but our creator that we have on Monday's show coming up to you was recently nominated for a 2018 Rising Star Award for the Chicago Toy and Games Fair. So we'll leave a link in the show notes. That's Jeff Lai. But I would recommend you go through and look at the different games and see what you like, what you think should be nominated. I noticed Fireball Island was on there. So go ahead and make votes and see what you can do to help your favorite creators or games you might know and like be able to win an award. Now we join this interview about Magnets the Game, already in progress.
Now, let's get geeky with Gamer Leaf.
When I first graduated art school, I moved to New York City with a pack of art school grads. We moved into a converted loft. It had factories being booted out for illegal industrial lofts to be rented. The last factory to leave left their doors wide open, big industrial elevator opening up to a full floor of a shower curtain factory. Reams and reams of vinyl fabric strewn all over the place. Singer sewing machines, belt-driven, in a nice orderly row, and one dusty box of ceramic magnets. We took as much as we could gather, including this really heavy box of magnets. And it actually turned out that the magnets is what we played with the most. First, we took the magnets and just spread them out on a table. They were the little disc magnets that you'd find on the bottom of your shower curtain that sort of click to your bathtub. Well, we had about 1,000 of them. We set out 100 at a time, out on a table, unconnected. Took one, tossed it in, it made a stack. That was the first rule. We found that if we would collect stacks of 4 or more, and we'd try to get all the magnets off the table. We played this game just like this on an open table for at least 3 years. And then one time, I realized that maybe we could put a boundary around these magnets, and instead of it spreading across the whole table and the game taking 15, 20 minutes to play, if we put a boundary around it, the game all of a sudden became a 5-minute quick rounds. Bigger boundary, it's a bit of a harder game. Make this little ring smaller and condensed. It's a nice tight game. And then I saw that, this is something I want to share with the world. And so then I just started getting at the design. First, I made a bunch of games for my family, probably like 10 or 20 out of these really dusty magnets that I found from the shower curtain factory. First, I made for my friends and family, and then I started down the road of trying to order magnets from China, which is a whole long sort of process of ordering. The minimum was 30,000 magnets at a time. I think I probably had made like 4 or 5 orders at the time. So that's how it started. We raided a shower curtain factory, found all these magnets, and just started tossing them around.
Did that sound familiar to you guys? It didn't to me either, but this is a story of the game, Magnets the game, a new game that's currently on Kickstarter. And as you were telling us, Jeff, you're the creator mastermind behind this great game. Is that correct?
Like I said, there was a pack of us that first sort of made up the game and sort of found the rules. I like to say we discovered it, but I took the flame and said, hey guys, we should get this out of just our little living room, share it with the world. So then I went through producing it, trying to package it, making the rule book, designing the whole game.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for doing that, and also for joining us on Getting Geeky with Gamerleaf to talk all about it. Before we get into everything that's great about Magnets the game, the marbles of the 21st century, let's rewind a little bit if we could. How did you get into playing tabletop board games?
Board games had been a tradition in my family ever since I was first growing up. Challenging my uncle to monopolies. And really, I have an extended family of 3 sisters, and my mom has a large family. There's about 15 of us that gather for the New Year's holiday and Christmas, and it is just all board games. Mainly we play a lot of Catan, play a lot of Ticket to Ride, and these sort of like more cooperative-based games. I like the games that you sort of have a mission that you're then setting out to accomplish. But personally, I really like the outdoor games. I like playing bocce. I like playing horseshoes. I like playing these real sort of skill games that still is a very light situation where we're not actually playing badminton or volleyball. We can still talk to each other, hang out with each other, and have a light activity to do, like playing bocce. So that's really what excited me about this game is we get to do a tossing game inside at the table with magnets. I just think that's the coolest thing ever.
Well, there you go. That sounds pretty cool. So what is your favorite game currently?
Currently, right now, I'm playing a lot of backgammon, which I think is, the way I look at backgammon is you're constantly formulating how much risk you want to take, which is a very sort of similar thing to running a Kickstarter. You're formulating your risk, making a choice, and sticking to it.
Oh, wow. I never heard it compared that way. That's kind of cool. So like you said, and like you've talked about several times, the word on the street is you guys have a new game on Kickstarter. What can you tell us about Magnets the game, Jeff?
Well, like you said before, it's the marbles of the 21st century. It's a tabletop tossing game with magnets. What makes this game unique from many other magnet games is the magnets in motion. They're round, discs, shiny, polished magnets of really a perfect, satisfying strength contained within this playing field. It's like a belt of a ring. And what that does is it keeps the magnets always interacting with each other. And it's surprising spontaneous chain reactions that make this game thrilling to watch and play. One of my reviews from a pawn's perspective, Rob Kalajian, mentioned that the game is fun the whole time of playing. It's a game that you can almost lose track of who's trying to win, and it's really about watching your skill, seeing the magnets interact, bounce off each other, repel from each other, stand up on edge, roll around, do seemingly impossible magnetic tricks. The other thing I think is really awesome about this game is it's a skill versus chance. I think this is one of the sort of age-long quests of gaming, is finding something that is challenging in the skill sense, but also has this element of, even if I do something kind of bad, it might work out great. An errant throw into the ring of one of these magnets can still create a winning stack. With a lot of dexterity games, I found people get really shy and immediately think that they're going to fail at something and be like, oh no, I'm no good at tossing magnets. I can't do that. I shouldn't try that. But I've been playing this game around with a lot of people for many years, and they say I'm no good at something, but the chance of these magnets in motion, repelling or attracting, having a mind of their own, that's what really makes this game interesting. If you're lousy at tossing magnets, you're still going to make some connections. And plus, I made a few rules that really make the game very inclusive. Early on from making the game, we never wanted to have a loser. We never wanted it to be, well, don't have enough magnets. You haven't made a stack in 5 turns. You need to stop playing. Instead, we made rules so that you can sort of get back into the game. If a magnet escapes the ring, if it either bounces out after your toss or you never actually make it into the ring, that magnet goes to the player with the fewest magnets. This could also be somebody who has no magnets and is sort of waiting on the sideline for something to bounce out. There's another rule that I think is very unique to magnets of the game, and it's called equality. Equality comes from the player with the most magnets giving half of their stack to a player who has ran out of magnets. This does some really great things for the game design. It periodically evens the playing standings so that perhaps a windfall came around and somebody collected a stack of 11 magnets and another person is not doing so good. You call equality, the leader and the person who ran out even out, and the game is sort of balanced back toward the skill of actually collecting more stacks than your opponent, as it might be.
So does anyone ever really win the game then?
Oh yeah, collect the most and you have won. It's the basic form of winning. There are even points that can be allowed. You get 1 point for having the most magnets at the end of the game. So even if you had to call equality 5 times during the game, by the end, when there's only 1 or 2 magnets left on the table, and you've made the stacks to collect them all up, whoever has the most gets 1 point. But if you're playing the game competitively, at the end of the game, and you see only 4 magnets out there, and you might be able to make the winning throw and end the game, but you don't have enough magnets, well, I made a incentive to go for that last stack. If you get the last stack, which finishes that round of the game, you also get a point. If that last stack is able to connect every magnet and pull it off the table, you get a bonus point. And this way, there are actually 3 points possible per round, which really allows an underdog in 2 rounds to come up from 1 to 6 to 7 to 6.
So you got into some of the rules or whatnot, but how does somebody's turn look? Like if we sat down to play Magnets, the game, how would that look, Jeff? Or what do the turns look like?
You start the game by putting a bunch of magnets unconnected on the table, separated. Each player starts with 5 magnets. So all the magnets start unconnected, spread out across the table within the playing ring. Players take turns tossing 1 at a time into the ring and then attempt to make a stack of 4 or more magnets. Make a stack, retrieve it, add it to your hand for continued play. When only 1 or 2 magnets are left, the game is done. Collect the most and you have won.
Well, you said you played for quite a few years or whatnot, so during that time, during the playtesting and whatnot, was there ever anything you guys had to scrap in Magnets the game because it just wouldn't work?
Well, the first order of magnets I got from China were covered in industrial Chinese dust. Second order, I got them polished, but then the magnets were super weak. Going through the process of getting the perfect magnet for this game has been a 5-year process, going back and forth with this one manufacturer in China. And I tell you, we really landed on the perfect magnet, I think. Another real design challenge for the game has been, because I wanted to put it in a pocketable size tin and really make the game basically a bunch of magnets and some instructions, finding the right material to make the containment field, the ring or belt, as you may, has taken quite a lot of variations. It went from a hard plastic to now I'm using a neoprene. I was using a buckle, and now this time I'm going to use some wide silicone bands that will be able to show some branding on the ring out on the table and be very intuitive to use.
Okay, so people won't have to bring their own hula hoop like in marbles?
Oh, no. Yeah, it is all packaged in a 3-inch size tin for take everywhere, play anywhere fun.
Well, that sounds awesome. So, per se, somebody likes what they've heard or whatnot, what is it going to put them back to get a copy of Magnets, a game, if they back the Kickstarter?
The basic pledge is $20. This game makes a great gift at a $20 price range. It's right in there for the office party type of trades. There is a deluxe version of the game, which is going to have a silicone band around the magnet tin, which offers a bit more branding to the tin, makes it stand out a lot better. And there is some secret expansion ideas with that one ring that you can use to even make the game have more depth and more replayability that I will get into later in the campaign as it gets closer to funding. There's also a print and play version, which I know is a sort of a Kickstarter tradition of finding the lowest cost possible to get this to your community. And I do have a print and play version, which comes with 30 magnets, the neoprene rubber belt, and a very clever way of holding the game tightly together using a silicone wristband that will stay solid in your pocket.
Okay, and to do that, you'd have to have a 3D printer, is that right?
Yeah, you don't need your 3D magnet printer to get this print and play option. I supply the magnets in the belt and a PDF of the graphic instruction.
Oh, okay, that's good. So, yeah, because I always worry about when I get a print and play that it's just, I have to print everything off.
Yeah, not everything, just most things. One of the other things I'm really excited about this game is I made the rule book as simple as possible so that others can find their own variations, find their own house rules. I like to say your house rules. And in this way, I'm talking about maybe there's a penalty for somebody skipping your turn. Maybe there's a penalty for somebody putting their hand over the line when they're tossing in their magnets. I've got variations up on my website, including drinking rules. This is a great pub game. I've got a family style variation where your 8-year-old can pick up 3 stacks while you're picking up 4 stacks so that there's an entry level for everybody to play. I also have a anarchy version in the variations, which is just don't take turns. Still try to pick up only the stacks you cause, but it really becomes magnetic mayhem when you stop taking turns and go as a free-for-all. You can play as a co-op, you can play as a tournament, you can play as teams. And I think once people get their hands on these magnets, they're going to invent a whole bunch of other ways that you can use too.
Cool. Yeah, it sounds like there's plenty of variations and endless gameplay. Would that be what you're most proud of, or what are you most proud of when it comes to Magnets, the game?
I like watching people's reactions when they see these magnets dance around on the table after they toss them down. There are always surprises, gasps, hurrahs, guffaws, people putting their hand on their forehead. There's a lot of action in this game. There's a lot of beauty to the magnets wandering around this magnetic field, turning, making abrupt turns, making full spins. If you check out my Kickstarter page and my video, I've got some really pretty video of what these magnets, how they interact with each other, how they roll around, how they really seem to make decisions all by themselves.
Yeah, I've watched the video and stuff a couple times, and yeah, it seems pretty cool. Like at any time, something could totally out of the normal could happen.
Yes. Yeah, surprises are aplenty when you put magnets in motion.
So that's pretty cool. Yeah, and kids love magnets and whatnot. And it seems like it might be a little bit funner, well, a lot funner, in fact, than just regular marbles was when I played with that when I was a kid.
Marbles is more skill. It's actually quite a skillful game. This has all those chance elements of these magnets sort of helping you along. So it does make it quite more surprising and exciting. I also have ideas of how maybe these magnets can be used to offer conflict resolution in role-playing games. Sort of instead of rolling dice to see if you have destroyed the goblins, you could put out a skill level of having 3 tries of the magnets to get 3 stacks of magnets put together, or the like. I think there's plenty of possibilities of variations, and I have expansion ideas. I have expansions of possibly different colored magnets, a different game board using magnetic reactive material as the game board. So as you play the game, you're actually making a design across the board. I have an idea of making a shooter so that it kind of like has a slide that aims the magnet for a bit more precision. There's ways you can make the magnets put their poles next to each other and turn it into a little bit of a pistol. I can make different sizes of the games. There's really a lot of variations and a whole product line that I'm hoping will evolve out of this one little Kickstarter. Kickstarter is live right now. Search under Magnets the Game. You can also go to magnetsthegame.com to be in touch with me, to see the full rules, to see the different variations. And if you want to reach out to me, and you should first, this month of September, go to Kickstarter and join the comment page over there. I'm checking it regularly. I'd love to have some more discussions and answer questions on the comments page on Kickstarter.com, Magnets the Game.
You already talked about what Pawn's perspective said about it. Are there any other reviewers that reviewed the game, and what did they have to say?
Yeah, Rob really liked it. He said he was out on his table. His kids were constantly wanting to pull it out. The Unfiltered Gamer also gave a short little preview of it. And his take on the game was, if somebody asks me if I want to go toss some magnets, well, of course I'm going to say yes. Is this the game that is going to be the cornerstone of my next game night? Probably not, but it could certainly get the party started. It's also a really good filler game between games. If you're waiting on somebody, it's the kind of game that even if you don't make it to the very end, it's fun doing it. So that's what the Unfiltered Gamer said. Tantrum House also had the Willow Boys play the game. They had an absolute blast, just sort of jumping up and down in with excitement, barely able to control themselves, seeing these magnets click together, tossing things. I wish I had an indoor tossing game when I was 12.
Yeah, so it's just talking about it, it sounds really fun. I can't wait till we can play it. If I recall correctly, we might be able to preview it depending on when we get it before the Kickstarter through. Am I correct?
Oh, yeah. I believe I sent you a game late last week, so it should be coming in anytime. I am going to be exhibiting at the World Maker Fair next weekend, September 22nd and 23rd. This is in New York City in Queens at the World Fairgrounds.
Oh, wow. So that'd be cool. So people can try it out there as well.
Yeah, I'm going to have all of the versions of this game through the whole design process from the last 5 years. I think I have 3 different tins, 5 different magnets, all the different belts, all the different instruction booklets I've gone through. So I'm really letting people come in and take a peek at the process that I've been working on this game for really quite some time. The following weekend, the last weekend of September, on September 29th, I will be at the Boston Fig Festival, which is presented by MIT. And that festival is focused on independent designers, like myself, making tabletop and video games.
Okay, awesome. So you said the World Makers Fair and then Boston Fig?
That's correct.
Awesome. Yeah, so you can go check it out there so you can play yourself. So that's awesome. And like Jeff said, we'll hopefully be able to bring you a preview as well here on Getting Geeky with Gamerly. So that's exciting. Yeah, so that's exciting. It sounds like everybody that's played it has liked it at least. And we'll make sure we leave all the links in the show notes so they don't have to go type it into their computer, and they can just click on the link and they'll be able to know all about it.
That would be great. I really find that once people get a hold of these magnets, they're hooked. They're really satisfying. They're really surprising. And it's a game unlike any other game out there right now. I know there are other magnet games, including Hearts of Attraction, which has a lot of the same principles of magnets sliding across the table and gathering and retrieving the gathering stacks. But these little disc magnets have just the right size, just the right strength to do all of this magic wandering, flipping, rolling, unpredictable magnetic chain reactions. it'll surprise you every time.
Well, so somebody likes surprises and they want to try it. They go ahead and they back it or whatnot. So you don't overpromise and underdeliver. When might they expect to get Magnets the game after it funds?
I'm going to get Magnets the game in your hands by Christmas. Most of the components are made right here in America with very short lead times. The magnets themselves have already been safety tested and approved. I've gotten a sample earlier this year, and they are ready to be made. They take less than a month to make themselves, and then I'm going to get them back to America either as fast as I can, and I'm committed to getting them into your hands by Christmas.
Well, that's awesome. So they can start playing them for Christmas. So that's cool. Now, out of all the other games that are out there on Kickstarter currently, why should they take a chance on Magnets the game, Jeff?
Magnets the game is the type of game where once you see it, you know if you're going to like it or not. There's no question to whether or not you like tossing magnets. Well, I mean, I guess that's kind of hard to say because not many people have actually done it. But I believe it's the kind of game where once you see it, you know if you want it. It's not a risk like it might be with a new dungeon crawler or a new cooperative game. This is exactly what you see. Magnets rolling around, surprising yourself, surprising each other. A skill versus chance game. If you like that kind of thing, you won't go wrong backing Magnets the game.
Awesome. And like I said, we'll make sure we leave links in the show notes and everything. And it looks like you might be looking at making expansions as well. So
exactly. If this funds, it can only go up.
Well, that's pretty cool. So that's awesome. And like I said, we'll make sure we leave links in the show notes. And they have until when to back this great game on the Kickstarter?
October 4th.
Yeah, so just over a little bit over 2 weeks you'll have from the time this goes live. A little bit over 2 weeks to go ahead and back Magnets the game. So that's awesome. Now the next portion of our show, I don't know if you got to listen to any of them, Jeff, or not, and that's okay if you haven't because you've probably been busy running the Kickstarter. But the next portion of our show is called Adventures in Application Acquisition, where we talk about an app, be it for your cell phone, your tablet, your computer, or even a video game. It doesn't necessarily have to relate to tabletop board gaming or Magnets for that matter. It can be anything. Is there an app you use a lot of that we can just talk about for a minute?
Of course. This morning, I made my way to a toy store in Bethel, Connecticut, from my home near the Hudson River in New York. I would not have been able to find this place without the brilliance of GPS and turn-by-turn directions. I think that has really done a lot to save brick-and-mortar businesses this place was only an hour away from my house, but I went through so many back roads and twists to get there. I use Waze, which I think is pretty neat. To sort of their feature that you can tell other people where the cops are sitting.
Oh, wow.
I think is really kind of fun and makes me feel a little bit like a snitcher or like I've got a secret.
A secret agent.
Yeah, there's a feature on it where if you see a cop, you can, with 2 buttons, notify other people that might be driving down that road at that time exactly. But be on the lookout.
And they'd have to be using the Waze app as well?
Yeah.
So how does that come across? Like you're driving and like a notification will come up, or how does that work?
Friendly voice and the accent of your choice says, "Police reported ahead."
Oh, wow, that's interesting. And now is this I imagine this is for Android as well as iOS?
Oh yeah, it's a Google company.
And is it a free or does it cost app?
This is a free app.
Oh, that sounds really cool. So that's awesome. What would be one thing you would do to make that app a little bit better, would you think?
I sometimes question if it's really got the best route for me. But I think I will always have that feeling of like, is this really the best route? Is this really the best route? And I tend to refresh my routes. And sometimes it gives me a little bit of a new choice. So I don't know. I think that it could sort of give me better choices. Actually, another thing, in this world of sort of instant gratification, I get in my car, I don't even know where I'm going. I just turn on this app, and its voice will send you a sort of brief synopsis of your route. But I'm finding that it would be much more safe if I actually sat down, figured out where I was going, and then drove myself. So I don't know, maybe my improvement, turn it off. and learn my directions.
Yeah, we kind of, what do you call it, lost that aspect because I don't know what I did before. I had a cell phone. I had no way to know where I was going. We had to look at the way or stop and ask for directions and stuff.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time riding around New England on a motorcycle with these big maps sticking up.
Oh, well, and even before cell phones come, I remember me and my family were trying to go somewhere, and we had, what was it? It was just a GPS device, and it told me to go it had me go the wrong way, like we went in a big old circle or whatnot, and it told me completely wrong way to go, and I couldn't trust it for forever after that.
Yeah.
So they've come a long way. So that's awesome. Now, minus coming to your hometown to stalk you, how would people go about, anybody listening, how would they go about being able to keep up with you and everything related to Magnets, the game, as well as any upcoming projects you may have in the hopper once this game's successful and funds and is delivered?
magnetsthegame.com. That's where all your information is going to be. That's going to where you'll have a contact me directly there. You see all my videos. I'll put up my updates. But beyond that, right now, this month of September until October 4th, you got to get over to Kickstarter, search for Magnets the Game, watch how fun this game looks, and make your pledge.
Well, for sure, yeah. Like I said, we'll make sure we leave links in the show notes and everything. Speaking of games in the hopper, I know we're mainly focused on Magnets the Game, but is there any exclusive insider information that you can give any of Game Relief fans about upcoming projects from you?
This right now is my full focus.
As well it should be. Yeah, it looks like an awesome game, so we got to try to get that to moved up there. Once it gets going and stuff, after it's gets past funding and stuff, will there be stretch goals and stuff as well?
I do have stretch goals. I have really some great stretch goals planned. Some including the ability to have more magnets in the tin, which allows up to 6 people to play per game. So it really becomes a pocket-sized game that could really be for a full party. One of the first stretch goals will be to add 5 more magnets per game. Each game currently comes with 35 magnets, which is good for up to 5 players. But if I add another 6 magnets into the tin, then you can have another 5 magnets to the tin, and then you can have up to 6 players playing comfortably. So you could have your whole family, your whole crew sitting around the table tossing magnets with each other.
Well, there you go. That's awesome. So, yeah, and like I said, we'll make sure we leave all the links in the show notes, especially that one that will take them directly to the Kickstarter so they can, if they like what they see and stuff, they can go ahead and back it and they can help make Magnets a game, not only just something you've worked at so hard, but actually a reality so they can play it and their friends and family can play it as well.
It would bring me great joy to have other people having fun playing this game.
For sure. How did you decide? How did you know when it was ready to go to Kickstarter, Jeff, or what made you make that leap?
I made that leap last year when I was going to retail stores, and every store I went to, the retailer said, yes, please, I would love to carry this game. I'll buy 10. I'll hold 10. I was getting a lot of good response from the game as I was shopping it around last year. I even got a couple publishers that showed a lot of interest. And so I decided to try to beat the publishers to the punch a little bit and see what I can do with the game myself. I really want to try to self-produce this and indie publish this game.
Okay, awesome. And just recently we've had somebody that talked about where they ended up going to back to the game stores and stuff, people that had said they would back it and help make it get closer to funding. I imagine you've done that already, haven't you?
I'm making the rounds at all my local toy stores in the New England area right now, telling everybody about it. I've been to an event every single weekend for the last 3 weekends, and I got 2 more to go.
Well, there you go. So hopefully that'll help it out as well as when more people hear about it and whatnot. And like I said, we'll leave the links in the show notes. We don't want to keep you all night, Jeff, but any final parting words about Magnets the Game and why they should check it out?
Yeah. If you like dexterity games, if you like tossing things, if you like to be wondered by the magic of magnets, if you like to have a pocket-sized game that you can take anywhere, explain the rules in less than a minute and get to playing high action right away, then Magnets the Game is for you.
Awesome. And yeah, so definitely go ahead and hey, whatever you're doing, go ahead and you can pause it. Well, you don't necessarily have to pause the podcast. Just click that link on the show notes or whatnot. If you're driving, make sure you pull over to the side of the road and click that link. If you see other people that are pulled over or whatnot, then you'll know other people who are getting Magnets the Game as well. So that's awesome. And we'll, like I said, we'll leave those links in the show notes. But yeah, we don't want to keep you all night, but we really appreciate you coming on Getting Geeky with Game Relief with us tonight, Jeff, to talk all about Magnets the Game, the 21st, what do you call it? The Magnets the Game, the marbles of the 21st century.
Thank you, Lake Leafy. It's been a blast.
No problem. Well, before we finish off this episode, I hope you'll come back tomorrow, as we're going to do our best to start once again bringing you Family Fun Day Fridays on a regular basis. The games of subject will be Stupid Users Beta, a new card game that's currently on Kickstarter. I hope you'll listen to that. You can always go ahead and subscribe on iTunes or your podcast catcher so you'll never miss an episode of Getting Geeky with Game Relief. On Monday on our show, we will sit down with Jeff Lai to talk all about his new expansion for his deck building game. It sounds like a fun one, so you'll want to pay attention to that. If you want to get it in your email box, some of our podcasts go out via email. You can do that by subscribing on our website at GameReliefGo.com. Kind of like Pokemon Go, but it's GameReliefGo.com. It was recently announced that Jeff was nominated for a 2018 Rising Star Award for the Chicago Toy and Games Fair. So if you want to go ahead and check that out, I would encourage you to vote for games you like. I noticed Fireball Island was on there. We'll leave links for that in the show notes, so you can check that out there as well. But like usual, unfortunately, it's our least favorite time, and yours as well. Time for us to get on with our lives, you to get on with yours. But in the meantime, like usual, go ahead and get geeky, stay geeky, and bring others into Geekfold. And we'll catch y'all on the flip side. Game Relief out.
Game Relief levels up. Tune in next week to see if Gamer Leaf's luck holds up.